Hey everybody, welcome to Maggie Holmes Monday. Here is the beautiful photo of my great-grandparents that we are going to scrapbook today. I chose all of my products based off of this set of flair from Scrap and Happy Studio. These are the brand new Junk Book-It flair. They're vintagey and thin and beautiful, and we're going to talk about them later. I fussy cut these cute cameras from one of my pattern papers and added some glossy accent, and then I fussy cut these florals. And then I took all of these ephemera and paper pieces from my Maggie Holmes collection to use because they match those beautiful flares. I'm also going to pull in this Hambly paper that is part of my How to Kill a Kit with Style. And I wanted to show you here how many of these 6x12 sticker sheets that I have. And all of them are like almost finished. I had pulled them out because I wanted to try to use some of them, but actually in the end I don't end up using any of them. Whoops. I'm going to start with this Hambly paper. I want to fussy cut a couple of these frames and use them as layering pieces on my layout. I think that they are, I love my Hambly papers. I have so many of them, you guys. I'm never going to run out, but that's okay. That's fabulous to me. So this is a screen print paper. It's a little bit thinner, but it also, the print on it is gorgeous and beautiful. And I think I left all of my fussy cutting in, so we don't need to watch all that. How about if we kind of skip through a little bit here? That's better. Now I'm going to go ahead and use some vintage photo distress oxide ink and ink the edges of these pretty frames. My layout today is going to go super quick. I used a really easy design idea and I kept it pretty simple. So I'm going to start with this damask pattern paper, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to back it with some white cardstock because it is from a paper pad, and so it's pretty thin. It's not going to work as a full background, but I want it to work as most of a background. So I'm just going to cut it down 1 inch on two sides, and that'll give me a 1/2 inch white border around all of my edges. And then I can back it with the white cardstock for some stability. Here's a little hack for you. I have some Tear It tape here. The Tear It tape is from Spiegel Mom Scraps. I am putting it around the edge of my page. What that is going to do is it's going to make sure that my paper is not going to move. Now this tape is super sticky. So if I just pull the release paper off, I'm going to end up with paper. Always end up with crooked paper. So what I did was I add just a little bit of tape runner to the center of my page, and I leave the release paper on the Tear It tape. Now I can go ahead. I can fidget, I can move, I can pull it up and put it back down if I want, because my tape runner is it's repositionable for a while before it sticks good. So once I have the paper in place and I have all the edges lined up, then remove the release paper. I am terrible with crooked. Every time I try to get a paper and center it on another piece of paper, crooked. Always crooked. So that is my trick for how to get nice, even bordered edges. Put your super sticky tape around the outside edge. Don't remove the release paper. Put a little bit of tape runner in the middle. Move the paper around until you've got it completely centered where you want it. Then push down hard on that tape runner that's in the middle, and that'll help it to stick good then. And then pull the release paper off the edges, and your paper won't move, and it'll be fabulous. I trimmed the white border down on my photo, so I didn't completely get rid of the right border. I just trimmed it off so it was a little bit thinner. And then I'm going to map my photo on this pretty purple paper. This is a picture of my great grandparents. So I for those of you who haven't watched a heritage video before, my great-grandfather, who is in this photo, he was an amateur photographer. So I have so many pictures of my grandmother and her siblings and my great-grandmother, and I actually have a lot of pictures going back one more generation. So my great-great-grandmother and his fam and the Albus side of my family, his side of my family as well, because my great-grandfather took lots and lots of pictures. I am slowly digitizing them, and there is a playlist on my channel called Heritage Photos, and there's loads of videos in there. So if you are someone who has an interest in family history or heritage photos, you can definitely check out that playlist, because this is something that I do quite often. I just went through and digitized, I think, 8 more heritage photos, and I also have planned out a couple pages in a mini album project I have that is all about my ancestry. So those pages will be coming to work with both my Maggie Holmes Monday videos and also my How to Kill a Kit with Style kit for the next 3 months. So I placed my photo about a third of the way up, a little bit more than a third of the way up on my paper, on my background. Then I layered up all of these different elements, the ephemera, the fussy cut florals, the frames that I fussy cut. I'm coming in with the camera now. Remember what I said about my great-grandfather and his photography? So anytime I have a picture of him, I really want to add cameras to the page. That's what I kind of think about when I think about him. Now, as an aside, I knew him. Now, when I knew him, he was very old. He did not have, he didn't take pictures or anything. He was very elderly. And when I knew him, I was a little bit scared of him. But every time we would go to visit him, he would always give me candy. So that's what I remember about him. But I did have the privilege of knowing both my great-grandmother and my great-grandfather. This layout is going to come together super duper quick. So before the video ends, just a quick note. If you have used Scrap and Happy Studio Flare before, their new Junk Bucket Flare is different. So it doesn't have a metal backing on it, and it comes with some foam tape on the back. What that means is that you can put these flare on your wet mediums. So you can adhere them down with your wet glue. You can put them on top of mixed media, those types of things, because dun, 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 they won't rust. So that is what makes them amazing. They're still canvas flare. Jenny created them with lots of beautiful vintagey type designs. They're a little bit smaller than the normal canvas flare. They're thinner than the canvas flare. The original. Let's call it the original. So unlike the original canvas flare, they're smaller, they're thinner, and the backs are not metal, so they won't rust. They're like a plastic, and they kind of concave, but it's okay because she puts the foam adhesive on for you, and it's on packaging that the adhesive stays sticky, comes right off. So if you do get one and the adhesive isn't sticky or it wants to stay on the package, just put a little bit of foam tape back there and you are good to go. I think they're beautiful, absolutely stunning. The styles and designs of them are amazing. And she still makes the original canvas flare. She still makes the original epoxy flare. This is just new. A new product with a new kind of style. So the Junk Bucket Flare is a little bit more vintagey and it won't rust. And it's a little thinner and a little smaller than the original canvas flares. I will link those down in the description box below, just as so you can go check them out if you would like to. I love them. They're beautiful, but I love all of Jenny's flares. I love the original canvas flares. I love the epoxy flares. They're gorgeous. So I am just inking everything up and getting everything down. I have my cameras, I have the flares, I have my flowers, and I never pulled in any of those stickers that I showed you at the beginning. I didn't need them. I was good. I had these beautiful elements. I'd fussy cut. I was ready to go. And that is okay, because when it comes to my Maggie Holmes stash at this point, my stash is very heavy on the paper and very heavy on scraps and pretty light on embellishments. So being able to use have a pretty paper heavy layout worked out perfect. And you'll probably see that for the next couple months. For Maggie Holmes Mondays, we will have some pretty paper heavy layouts. I will say that my Maggie Holmes stash is getting down there, which is amazing. So my idea for this beautiful video series worked. I'm busting through the stash. Here is my layout all finished. I was considering sequins. I'm thinking about sequins. I am going to go ahead and do a little bit of journaling. So the journaling for this is going to be super simple. I'm just going to put who the people in the photograph are. And I also made a little asterisk and wrote date unknown, because there is no dates. A lot of the photos that I do have dates on them. My grandmother was real good about, if she knew the date something was taken, she wrote it on the back of the picture. But there is no date on this one. So that's okay. I know who's in the picture. That's totally fine. And by the way, my great-grandmother and great-grandfather are dressed in this photo, I feel like this was like some kind of special occasion or important event, but I have no clue what that event was, or I don't know. I wish I did, because I mean, it could be something really important, like that could be their wedding pictures, something like that, but I have no idea. So here are all of the close-ups. Crystal is joining me today, so make sure you head over and check out her video. The link will be in the description box, and I will also link up Scrap and Happy Studios website. Have a wonderful day, everybody, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.